Good morning, folks. Getting a little chilly. What's today's date, Mike?
Today?
Yeah.
We got October 18th.
October 18th. Fall is here, winter's coming. So today's project, we were contacted about a month ago. This homeowner had a company come out to do a tank removal and a tank installation about 2 years ago. The tank failed inspection. There was contamination. The contractor did what they could to try to get coverage from the insurance carrier. They couldn't do it. And then they were then given a quote from the contractor to do the remediation. Apparently those numbers were a little bit high. We were then highly referred. So I came in here, looked at the situation, and gave her a price. Normally when you do these remediations, if you contact an environmental company, what you're going to get from them is a time and material, because you don't know the extent of the pollution. You don't know how far it's traveled. You don't know if there's groundwater impaction. You don't know anything. The contractor, I guess they didn't feel comfortable with the proposal they gave him because it was based on a time and material. They should have done some test pits just to see the extent of the pollution, because at that time they would know exactly how much contamination they need to remove, transport, and dispose in order for it to pass. And then you can give the customer a one set number, a black and white, so you can remove that time and material. So for me, I don't know the extent of the pollution, but I still gave her a one set number only based on experience. So let's just hope I'm not incorrect with that. So these are my little pet peeves that I always talk about when I do my installation. I always say how I paint my black pipe. I mean, if this wouldn't drive you crazy after you paid $4,000 for an installation, every piece of black pipe on this tank is rusted. I don't even think this install is a couple of years old. The blocks aren't 4-inch thick, and it's a bottom line feed. So I think maybe the inspector was sleeping when he came out and inspected that. So my issues are, I've got the gas line here. The law on the gas line is that's their main. So I am not allowed to dig 2 feet closer than the right side or the left side. So it gives them a 4-foot buffer where they're not responsible. So they can actually be off by 4 feet. So obviously I'm going to start scraping over there, work my way over. I'm actually going to remove the overburden. That's the good soil. I'm going to put it into the back of a mason dump. Once I hit the contamination, I'm going to do a PID reading, and that'll give me my start point. Then I will begin to remove the contamination. I'll go down about 2 feet. I'll dig that into Big Red because that's going to the facility in the morning. After I dig 2 feet, I'll take another reading. So if my initial reading is 200 on the PID, after I dig 2 feet, it goes down to 100. I know I'll have another 2 feet, and this project will be done. I'm looking to do this in 2 days. I'll dig out the overburden, dig out the contaminated soil, and then I'll put the overburden back in, compact it, take my samples, come back tomorrow, and then backfill seed and hay. So that's the plan for today. We've got 2 plates out because this driveway is it's old and it looks like it's thin. So we're going to back a mason dump in here now, and I'm going to start stripping. right, so we've stripped all the overburden off. Took about 2 mason dumps, which is about 8 to 10 tons. And you can see that's the top shelf. That's where the contamination begins. So if you see soil samples and they say the contamination begins 6 feet BG, that's below grade. So while that overburden is good, that's where the contamination starts. That was the bottom of the tank. So I'm going to take a PID reading there. That gives me my start point. Then I'm going to dig 2 feet down, take another reading, and that'll delineate the area. We're about as close, actually I'm too close to the gas line. And it does look like it's cleaning up here, but once we're down in that void, we then have to take 4 side walls. And so that'll tell me whether the pollution is purging out left or right. It's not going to go anywhere over here. That's as close as I'm getting to a footing drain. I've got their driveway right here, so I'm limited with space. And it smells like an auto repair shop right now. All right, so we took a PID reading. It came up at 365. So that's normally, this will be the worst of it. It's just some other things. Contractor, when you do that, you definitely should flare cap that right there, because water will come into it and it'll come in through the home. If you can remove it, you remove it completely, but just doing that, not really good. I honestly feel like the inspector was sleeping on this job. So that's our start point. We're going to begin to dig down now, and then we'll take another PID reading. Okay, we took out probably Big Red's full, so I'm going to say it's about 9 tons. Got a clean bottom, clean side wall, clean back wall. Wall where I'm standing is clean. That right there, you see the little bit of gray? That came up 81 on the PID. Anything around 30 to 35 I can get to pass. So I'm just going to go down in there and hand excavate just a little bit more, because the footing drain is not more than 18 inches away from that. I'm not going to disturb a footing drain in order to chase a third of a yard of soil, especially one that's not elevated that much. There's no reason to do that. So that's going to be about it here today. So we're going to backfill, compacting in lifts, seed and hay, and we're going to come in extremely way under all my competitors, even the guy that installed that mess. So that was 5 tons of our compactable stuff. I can get this stuff 95% compactable. I've got the screen topsoil up there, black dirt. But before we filled that in place, we took a grab sample on the bottom and we took a composite 4 sidewall. What that is, a grab sample, is exactly what it sounds like. We just grab a center bottom sample, we jar it, and then we take a little bit from each sidewall, put that together in one sample. That's called a composite. We've done that. We did field screenings to make sure that the samples are passed. They are all good. So those are jarred and we'll send those out to the lab. Then we put in our compactable stuff, and now we're going to slowly put the screened in with the machine. We're not just going to dump it and make this come out perfect, and then we'll seed it. And that's it, folks. Okay, we are done here. So the contractor that installed that gave these people a remediation quote, which was a ton of material. So it looks like an open cookie jar. I think they were quoting them at least in the $15,000 range. This project took us a day and a half, and it came in a little over $6,000. So ain't always about the money. We enjoy helping people too. We made some money, we help them out, and we move on to the next one. So it's a feel-good day. But as always, it's another fine job by Tank Masters Environmental. We'll see you on the next one, folks.